Hey team, welcome to another Bullpen Bulletin with Coach Hart and Building Better Baseball. Daddy ball, you ever heard of it? You ever used that term? So I think that the term daddy ball has been just kind of blown up in youth baseball and it's spreading like wildfire and people are kind of loosely using it in ways that it's not really meant to be used for. So I feel that it is misused and misunderstood. So today we are diving into what daddy ball actually is and how people are using it and how we need to change how we use that term. And remember, I'm Coach Hart. This is Building Better Baseball, the best place for baseball education. So let's get into daddy ball. All right, so the first thing is I wanted to make a video and I was inspired to make this video by something I saw, right? So this video was inspired by a post I saw and it spoke to my belief about the term daddy ball and how it has been used and kind of just misconstrued, misunderstood, everything like that. So this post just spoke to me and I just had to make a video about it. And like I said, I had to make a video. I'd love to hear your thoughts because I know that this is a polarizing topic. All right. I know a lot of people think that they know what it means or use it all the time, maybe not in the best way or whatever. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video because I know it's polarizing. All right. So here is the post. All right. So this is, I'm not going to say who it was, but I don't know this person, but I just saw the post as I was scrolling and it just really spoke to me. So, some thoughts on daddy ball. All right, daddy ball, they call it. When a dad coaches their kid's team for the sole purpose of giving them the starting position, regardless of talent or effort. They overlook their kids, play favorites, and politics come to play way more than baseball. Their projections are reflections of their own missed dreams. All right, I know this kind of daddy ball is out there. I do. But can we please stop making that a blanket label every time a dad coaches? A blanket label. All right, that's what I'm focusing on. Because sometimes, dare I say more often, a dad steps up to coach because he has a passion for the game. He loves spending time with his kids, making priceless memories. He has the goal of building a solid program up from the little league years through high school. He knows the game and has a true knack for coaching. He wants to make a difference in the lives of the youth in his community. He genuinely cares about his kids, sure, but about yours too. They focus on developing the team as a whole. They celebrate all of their players' successes, and they deserve so much appreciation for the time and effort they put into this calling. A good coach is a good coach, period. Dad or not. All right. So there's a few things that kind of just really stuck out to me in this post. And like I said, I just had to make a video. So the one thing that really stuck out to me is can we please stop making that a blanket label every time a dad coaches? Because I do believe that's what's happening. And the second one is a good coach is a good coach, period, dad or not. All right. So let's get into the true definition, my definition or origin of the term daddy ball. All right, so the first thing is daddy ball is a real thing. I'm not saying it's not real. It is a real thing. It wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't a real thing, right? So there are some dads out there who choose to coach only to benefit their own child. All right, and this type of coach is a detriment to every other player on their team. They are not thinking about anybody else. They are only there for the sole purpose to benefit their child and themselves, right? They are not a coach. I do not consider them a coach because they are not thinking of anyone besides themselves or their child and their child. But I do believe that they are few and far between. Now that's the difference. I'm saying that daddy ball is real and these are real coaches out there who are doing this daddy ball thing, right? But I do not believe that is a blanket label for every dad who coaches their child. That's the difference, right? I believe that they are few and far between. I believe that there are way, way, way more coaches who also have kids on their team who they are really good coaches. All right. Now, what it is not, what Daddy Ball is not. All right. Exactly what the post says. There are many more coaches who are great coaches who just happen to have a child on their team. All right. So I know me personally, I know that I'm a good coach. And so my son is about to be 3 years old. When he starts getting into baseball and getting into T-ball, I will most likely be his coach if he chooses me as his coach. If he wants me as his coach, then I will be his coach. I would hope that nobody would label me as being a daddy ball coach, right? You see the difference? So coaching is coaching. You are either a good coach or not a good coach, regardless of if you have a child on your team or not, right? And that is how I feel daddy ball is used is people see a dad who is coaching who has a kid on their team and they just automatically label it as daddy ball, where the only thing to them that is not daddy ball is if a coach does not have a son on the team. And that's not fair to that coach. If they are a good coach, they are a good coach whether they have a child on their team or not. All right. These coaches know what they're doing. They know the game and only want the best for every player and family on their team. All right. So their purpose is to give all their players a phenomenal youth baseball experience, including their own child. So that is coaching. That is the essence of coaching, is to make sure that you develop and grow your team and grow your youth baseball players into young men, prepare them for life, do all the things that a coach does. And just because a dad has a child on the team does not mean that he is a daddy ball coach. All right. As we said in that definition, a daddy ball coach is only there for the sole purpose to benefit their child, to give them the starting shortstop position or whatever the label or the terms mean, right? That people put the label on, right? That is what a daddy ball coach is. This is what it is not. And I feel that the daddy ball term has just been widespread and just so loosely used to label all dad coaches as daddy ball coaches. And that's just not fair to those coaches who are actually good coaches. All right. So my thoughts on the misuse. I feel that the confusion and the misuse of the term comes from a few different places. Okay. Dissatisfaction and unhappiness, mostly from parents. Okay, mostly from parents. The parents do not have a realistic view of the talent of their child. Okay, so if a parent believes that their child is the next Nolan Ryan or Derek Jeter or whatever, then if they are not playing, or if their child is being used in the game not to their satisfaction, they will automatically label this team as a daddy ball team only because the coach has a son on the team. What if their son is the best player, right? Go by stats. Look at the stats. How are the stats doing? Is their son batting 500 on the season with no errors in the field? And as a pitcher, he's undefeated with a 0 ERA? Like that, to me, regardless of if the coach has a kid or not, if that was a coach who their son was not on the team, that player would still be playing because they're performing the best on the team, right? It just so happens to be the coach's son, right? So how is it fair to that coach to be putting their best player, who happens to be their son, on the field in those situations? That's not fair to label that coach as a daddy ball coach just because you are dissatisfied or unhappy with the performance of your child and the way that your child is being used. That is not fair to those coaches. All right, so the second one is jealousy. Sometimes from parents, sometimes from other coaches, where if a coach has a player and the player goes to another team, then that coach would automatically start labeling that other team as the daddy ball team or whatever, right? So some jealousy is in there, and that's where I feel that people use it as almost like ammo to hurt other teams and hurt other coaches. All right. The most important one, though, the one that I think that happens the most, is just misinformed people who hear the term and label all dad coaches as daddy ball. That is where I feel the biggest misuse and the misunderstanding of the term comes, is that misinformed people, maybe people new to youth baseball or the game of baseball, they see a dad and they see that they have a son on the team and they automatically label it as daddy ball because that's what they hear. That's what they hear. That's what they see on Facebook. That's what they see on social media. That's what they hear, right? And that is the core of the misuse of the term, is just the misinformed people, right? So this video that I'm making right now is hopefully going to get out to as many people as we can so we can kind of change this idea of daddy ball and what exactly daddy ball is. Okay, so like I said, I just feel like it's so loosely used as a derogatory term for anything bad that happens on a team, right? For any coach that has a son on the team, and that's just not fair to them. All right. The term daddy ball is used so loosely as a derogatory term and has spread like wildfire in youth baseball. It's literally like the go to term for any unhappiness or dissatisfaction that a parent has for a team or another coach has for a team. They just automatically label it as daddy ball. Only because the coach has a son on the team, right? Regardless of the son's actual talent level, right? That's kind of what it's based on is the coach's son. Is he a good player? Is he not such a great player? But does the coach use does the coach use his son like he would any other player on the team? If the answer is yes, then that is not a daddy ball coach. If the answer is no, then that is a daddy ball coach, right? Where the son is maybe not the greatest player on the team, maybe he's like kind of the bottom of the barrel or whatever, but he's still playing shortstop. He's still batting leadoff. He's still doing all those things. That is daddy ball, right? Any other time where the coach's son, let's say he's not the best, and the coach is using his son like he would any other player with that talent level, that is not daddy ball. All right. So good coaches, good dad coaches deserve better. A good coach is a good coach, period. Whether the dad has a son on the team or not. All right. So they deserve better. They do not deserve, if they are a good coach, they do not deserve the label of daddy ball because it has turned into such a derogatory term to describe youth baseball coaches and just youth baseball in general. Right. And it really gets to me. I'm very passionate about this because, like I said, I know, me personally, I know that I'm a good coach. When I start coaching my son and we start going through the youth baseball process, I would hope that nobody labels me as daddy ball because I know what I'm doing and I know that I'm a good coach, right? Good coaches are good coaches, period. Right? You cannot label a dad coach as a daddy ball coach if they are a good coach, right? So if you use it correctly. All right. So like I said, this post I just saw it and I just had to make a video about it because it spoke to me and it spoke to my belief about the term daddy ball and how whenever I see all of these disgruntled parents or whatever, they just start talking about, oh, this daddy ball. It really gets to me because those coaches, now, don't get me wrong. If they are a daddy ball coach and if they're not a good coach, then sure, they deserve it. But all dad coaches do not deserve the daddy ball label if they are a good coach, right? And we described what a good coach is in the earlier in this video. So I just really hope that the term and label of daddy ball is used more correctly just going forward after you see this video because there is a distinction between a daddy ball coach and a good coach, a good dad coach who just happens to have a son on the team. They are two completely different things. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. And like I said, I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about this? Do you think that the term daddy ball is overused, misused, and misunderstood? Or do you not agree with what I said in this video? I would love to hear your thoughts. I know it's a polarizing topic, but I would love to have some sort of discord and some sort of conversation about this because, like I said, I feel like it's just spread like wildfire all through youth baseball and everybody uses it because they think they know what it means, but they don't actually know what it means and they are labeling other dad coaches when they don't really deserve that label because they are a good coach. Good coaches are good coaches, period, whether they're a dad or not. All right. So before you go, grab your free guide link below. I have a free coaching starter pack and a free parent starter pack. Feel free to grab it. That has a whole bunch of stuff in there. So feel free to grab it if you think it will be valuable. All right. So hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. All right. I'll see you in another video real soon.